think it's fair to say that after almost 6 years, Sounds Organised has covered virtually every known keyboard manufacturer, concert artist. In fact, if it's anything connected with the organ scene, then it's often been heard first on this programme. Perhaps if there is any deficiency, it must be in the classical organ area. However, tonight I aim to rectify that. Whilst in Morecambe, I caught up with Wayne Marshall, and if you seem to recognise the name, then chances are you'll have either seen Wayne on the TV a couple of months ago, or read the many press articles in which he is featured. Well, in my second report from the National Home Electronic Organ Festival, he talked to me about his success. A portrait of Wayne Marshall. Wayne, welcome to the programme. No stranger to the town of Oldham at all. I think that's a fair comment.
Fair. Fair in the fact that, of course, I was born there. And the fact I spent my early childhood in Oldham, going to school at St Hilda's School, joining the local church choir, which is then All Saints Parish Church. And, of course, my parents live in Oldham. So it's a very familiar place. Though it's changed a lot now, so... anyway.
One or two facelifts, you might say. Obviously from a musical family, Wayne, tell me a little bit about your initial interest. How did the first spark show itself?
My mother was a pianist, and she, of course, when she was practising, I would want to go and listen to her and so on. I remember actually being a very small boy and going and sitting on my mother's knee, and she would show me little tunes on the piano, and I'd pick them out and try to imitate. So that went on for several years, and when I was 7 I could play all these hymn tunes and used to play regularly for the assemblies at school, and then I had lessons, piano lessons from 7, and that continued, and then I started to play the organ when I was 11, went to Chatham School of Music when I was 11, and then to the Royal College of Music, and then St George's, and so on. It just went on like that, really.
Have there been many difficulties along the road in pursuing an organ and other keyboard career?
Not difficulties as such. I think the initial difficulty was, I've always known that I've always wanted to play the organ, and definitely always wanted to play a keyboard instrument, definitely. I was a problem at school, both infant school and Chetham's, in that I would never really want to work academically. I think, yes, I was always so captivated by wanting to practice all day, every day, and I think that took up most of my time, really. But anyway, I overcame that, particularly when I went to Chet's, in that there were other musicians around me who were doing exactly the same jobs, therefore I felt at home in my own environment, so therefore it helped me to spread my interest in other things, like academic work, but I never really took it seriously. We won't talk about that.
Music, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, it was.
There really can't be too many organists, Wayne, who have the necessary qualifications or understanding to be able to play a wide variety of keyboard musical instruments. Do you feel then that it's important to be versatile?
I find it's important to be versatile as a musician, definitely, because I think that every single aspect of music contributes to any one particular field of music, whether it be conducting or piano playing, organ playing, or whatever. I suppose I've been lucky in that I've always had lots of interests in music, not just in the classical field, but also in the popular field as well. But this wasn't till much later on, I think, the popular side. This really didn't occur until I was at Chet's. And therefore, up till that time, I was always, classical music was always the thing which I was more interested in. But as far as the playing of various keyboard instruments is concerned, as I said before, my musical education really started with the piano, then organ, although I am basically a pianist. I've also played percussion in the school orchestra. I used to play cello, double bass, violin. And also sang in a cathedral choir as well. So we've had singing, keyboard playing, and percussion playing, and orchestral repertoire. So I'm interested in all these sort of things. Chamber music as well, accompanying. They all help. Do you see what I mean? It's all contributing to the overall.
It's a general diverse selection of interests, really, yes. Well, viewers of Granada Television may have seen a programme made a couple of months ago featuring your lifestyle, hectic as it obviously is, Wayne. Have you had much feedback from the programme?
Not direct feedback. A lot of interest was shown in the programme. I think to have done the programme, it certainly did. It did my initial career certainly a boost. I mean, in that Simon Rattle, with whom I worked with at Glyndebourne, did actually say on the programme that he thinks that one day I will be a conductor. I think there's a lot of truth in that, but this is not really something which I'm thinking of at the moment. I mean, my career is definitely geared towards playing the keyboard. So therefore I can only wait and see what happens. I mean, I'm now assistant chorus director at Glyndebourne, and we'll be doing some conducting next year. So, I mean, all these things, one thing leads to another. Just like, my organ playing career has led from one thing to another thing and so on. I mean, you just can't foresee into the future exactly what's going to take place, but just have to wait and see.
You've mentioned the Glyndebourne and obviously other places of very high musical acceptance to the general public. How then do you view an organ festival such as we have here at Morecambe this week, Wayne?
Very important. I mean, it's an important event for me because there are a lot of people here who are interested in the organ. A lot of people, of course, remember very, very easily exactly who everybody is, and everybody seems to remember who I am. So therefore, I remember certainly from last year having a wonderful time here. It was my first experience actually of an organ festival of such kind, and it doesn't seem like yesterday since I was here again. So I'm really glad to be here, and it's important in that I'm playing the organ every day. I always leave here at the end of the week in good shape. Well, of course, I think you're constantly performing, so therefore 7 days of the week, perfect. What could be better? So I view it. I do take it seriously. I mean, I have to take it seriously. Being a professional musician, I have to take these things seriously, and therefore I enjoy it.
Obviously we are at an electronic organ festival. Do you think that there may ever come a time when we may see a classical organ festival at all?
Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, you can never have a classical organ festival on this scale. I mean, because, as you know, classical organs vary in size, and, churches are very lucky to have one organ. Electronic organ festivals are convenient because you can have millions. You can have millions of electronic organs. They don't take up any space. They only take up the space that they have. With the pipe organ, of course, you have all the mechanics, everything else. But I mean, you could have an organ festival in a town whereby there are various organs in different places. It wouldn't quite be like this, but I mean, it's I mean, I suppose local organ associations describe these events as being organ crawls, whereby you go from one church to the next. But it's difficult. I mean, I just don't know.
Well, we can combine the state-of-the-art electronically and the classical sounds with the eminent organ company this week. Wayne, your role is to be associated with them, is it not, on this particular occasion? You're tied in with eminent at the moment, are you?
Yes, I'm really just helping David Woodford on this occasion, and in fact on every occasion which I do work with eminent. My role is to show the classical organs and exactly what they can do, and occasionally I play on the B85 as well with David in duets, which again is another aspect of a different kind of music on a different kind of organ. Of course, there's no comparison between a pipe organ and an electronic organ, but the eminent 9000 that has just really come into this country nearly just 2 months ago is, as far as I'm concerned, the best electronic classical organ I've played. I don't think you can find an organ which is better, which incorporates, in fact, all the normal facilities as would a normal pipe organ. So in that respect, I mean, you've got really a very versatile instrument at your hands. So I've tried to vary my program this week in that I'll play different styles of music to show exactly the different qualities of the organ. I think that, I mean, again, I've got to play music which is going to be, of popular appeal. So a lot of French music, toccatas and things like that go down very well.
Well, Wayne, it's been a pleasure to meet you and have you as a guest on the programme on this Friday. Thank you very much for taking part, and I look forward to seeing you in Royton in the not-too-distant future at the Trinity Church then, because you're playing there, of course, aren't you?
Looking forward to that concert too. Again, before that, I will be in Manchester at the GMEX Centre with Eminent again, 2 days before that event, so I'm looking forward very much to playing it in Royton.
Wayne Marshall, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Wayne Marshall and the eminent Omega 9000 classical organ with extracts from the Toccata by Franz Schmidt.